Down in Bonzoleum Studios, here I am setting up my ambers again, because sometimes I have just little seepage alerts, because, you know, you have an old house. Alright, so check this out. Now what I'm doing is getting the hi-hats down. There it is, more or less there. You'll fine-tune it later. Where is my drum throne? Hang on. So I hope everybody is good. Don't forget about the t-shirts. If you want one, email me at bonzoleum@gmail.com. Hang on. Cymbals. Moving over. Getting the throne. Put the cymbals back. So, yeah, so the t-shirts, I got black, small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, and 3XL. Where did I put these? I'll just put these there. Okay, it's a long story. I have my 2002 ride there because I just acquired a 24-inch giant beat multi, which I'm excited about. It worked out great at the show the other day. And I wanted to show you this. This is part of a new series called Gear. Actually, I do have a Gear playlist, but check this out. It's a Camco, just like my favorite Tama era Camco. Remember, Tama bought out some Camco, and so did DW. But this is a rare strap. Okay, usually they're a chain. So this is a strap, and I seem to recall using it before, not necessarily liking it that much, because I don't think the tension was to where I wanted it. But let me see. Give it a try. Oh my God, it's not bad. All right, so what I'm doing now, just real fast. See, I'm just sort of floating my foot, and I'm kind of just spazzing out with my foot a little. That's sort of a way for me to. Let me sit. I gotta sit sort of in position. Yeah, that's really good, I think. All right. So, what I'm also going to do in this video, it's going to be long, but this is a Remo Emperor, not a Remo Vintage Emperor, so it's not as thick as a Remo Vintage Emperor. But I'm going to put that on my Supra, my 6.5 by 14 Ludwig Supra. This is the one I got with my reissue amber kit when I bought it used in Cleveland. So what had happened was that kit came with like an Evans something or other. I do like Evans heads, they're good. I prefer Remo though. But this is a Soundmaster. About 14 years ago, I got like a box of like 20 of these Soundmaster heads new from Midwest Percussion. Apparently they went out of business in bad terms a while back, but anyway, I'm not sure. Maybe somebody at the store had a problem and sort of gave the store a bad name. So what I'm going to do though is take off the Soundmaster head, which is a lot kind of like almost like a Diplomat. So I'll take that up, but what I wanted to do first, I'm going to get my rack tom on, okay? So I did a measurement. Somebody had asked about getting a 6-lug top and a 6-lug bottom amber Vistalite tom to make it more accurate with the original John Bonham specs on his amber. In the early 80s, Ludwig switched, maybe not even that early, maybe late 80s, early 90s. For whatever reason, on the 10 by 14s, they put 8 lugs top and 8 lugs bottom. With, you know, obviously the idea being a better. I should move this. Oh, it isn't my drum. I have another surprise in a minute too. Yeah. So, I'll get that on. This is gonna be a 2-part video. Let's be honest. So let me get the rack tom on. My 6-lug top and 6-lug bottom, which is an RCI Vistalite shell, but amber Vistalite, weighs about 9.5 pounds. Okay. The Ludwig one there that came with the kit, which is 8 top and 8 bottom, weighed just about, not even a pound more. So it's not even really not that much weight. It's really sort of a look, because a lot of diehard Zeppelin Bonham people, it's just if you've been looking at pictures of Bonham so long and looking over them and looking them over, as a lot of us diehard Zepp, even Bonhamophiles, but also Zeppophile fans are, you'll notice the different lugs on the tom. When you go to buy, if you're going to spend, you know, money on a kit, you're going to be like, man, I kind of like the 6 top, 6 bottom. Maybe Ludwig will do that. We'll see though. It's not the end of the world though. But so what I'm going to do is let me get my 9.5 pound 79, or no, what do you say? An 8-foot tall, 460-pound gorilla. Okay, so here we go. So this is 9.5 pounds. Here it is. That's pretty good. Got the white gaskets in it. I got that from that Romano fella at RCI. So I'm going to put this here, just like so. So I kind of, what it is, I'm not really sure where I want it at the moment. Oh, you know what stinks? I got to raise this just a teensy bit. Make sure the teeth, that it grabs the teeth. Oh, that is grabbing the teeth. All right, so what I'm going to do is I swap out my nuts, you know, the big Ludwig ones, which are great, like these guys. This is what you'll get now, like this. I just put on the real small ones you get at the hardware store. They're like a quarter, because for most drum keys, like stay sets, and this guy here, an old CNC key, not affiliated with the current CC company, but there's a fellow in New Jersey that sells these. He has some left. They were made back in the 60s. His name is, God, he's written all kinds of books. He's a legend, truly. He's not as famous as like Ted Reed and stuff. He has a bunch of these, if he still does. Again, it's like a four-way actually, because there should be a little screwdriver metal thing here, which I never use. Regular key, Sonor, and Premier. And then down here you have the regular hexagonal nut that is used on Ludwig, but also too like a slot, so it hooks onto this. So then you can really get like torque, okay? Which is it's very important. So what I did is I did that by hand, right? That might be a little too far forward for me. So let me go up here. So what I did, I'm doing it by hand, but what you still, that's perfect for me. So what I need to do is I will give that a little more of a torque. God, what is his name? He has the drum keys. Joe. See, I'll check this out. So I'll shake it a little like this, because if it's kind of riding on the teeth, it'll go ga-junk down to the proper position but lower. So that's good. Let me give it an extra torque. There we go. That ain't going anywhere. So now the 18th floor. I gotta get his name. The drum guy that sells the keys. He also has all kinds of stuff. Like I said, he's written books. He's got. Okay, here we go. It's not Joe. God, what is it? It's. Ow. All right, hang on. So here, hang on. Let's make sure we're sorted in the position. Been using my Big Firth Keith Moon. Big Firth. I got a deal on these. So watch. So it's kind of. Well, let's just see. So here we are, and I'm going to get my ride on, but I'm going to put on not the 24-inch, 3,900 gram 2002 ride. They should really offer a medium again. I'm trying 24. Where are my cymbals? And hang on, I'm sorry about the delay. Remember, this is real life. This is action. This is okay. So check it out. This is like in the 2,900 gram range, a 24-inch reissue giant beat multi. Okay, that's it's the only size you can get. God, if that falls, let me double check my. I gotta change that up. Oh yeah, my cymbal arm thing. I wanted to make sure isn't gonna tip. So I always, every time you set an any drum set, make sure the stuff is. In fact, at that bracket there, I just realized that I still have. The old spec, well, the ones you get now. The big T-handly ones. What the hell did I just do with the big T-handly thing? But anyway, so I just swapped them out for just small wing nuts. You know what I mean? At the hardware store. So I'll fix that. Here's my 20-inch giant beat multi. Again, my advice to Pisces, and a lot of people feel this way. Seriously, it's not just me. The know-it-all. A Kia, as my wife calls me. Because it's true. She means that loving. So, what I'm going to put on here is I'm telling you, this is a Pisces, no, a Zildjian S family, S series, 18-inch thin crash. This thing weighs, I think it's like in the lower 13s or even upper 12. I'm not kidding. But listen to how this carries. Get ready, here's the volume again. That's B12 alloy. Zildjian's really onto something there. I did call and tell him that too. Remember, I'm an equal opportunity company caller to give my know-it-all advice. Hang on. Right, all right, so that's about there. So I do, all right, so I'm going to do this. I really do like a crash over here, though, so I can just, anyway. Plus, I don't have one here so you can see. But anyway, so that's where I'm going. I have to finish up the 16-inch, I know it's a saga, the Amber Vista Light floor tom, because I ran out of washers. You know, little drum washers? I don't know why the specific washers you get that come on drums, companies know what they're doing, and I do think it's coming in from Taiwan, but to American specs, is the drum rods have built-in washers that don't, that's a great idea. You know, anyway, so what I did is I realized, like drum companies, why don't we use lock washers for these? Just regular lock washers. They don't necessarily have to be the star ones, which might be the best. You know what I mean? The prickly star ones that look like a sun when you hold it up with the hole in it. Or just the ones that have the, you know, the lock washer that's just, you know, a chunk chopped out and then sort of like that, you know. That's what I'm going to do there. I think I'm going to switch I'm going to try that and just see if it works. So that's an idea. So what else? Oh, my hat. So check this out. What I used at the gig is what I've been using for a while. A 2002 Black Label 1976-ish Sound Edge bottom that actually has rivets in it, because I went through a Mick Fleetwood phase about 25 years ago, and he has rivets in his 15-inch Peisty 2002 Sound Edge. Actually, they could be 602s too, but you never know. So what I did is I have the Sound Edge bottom, a Black Label 2002, with the top that came with my pair of 15-inch Giant Beat reissue hats, okay? Oh, what I was going to say before about the multi. The multis are the heaviest weight they offer. This was 2,900, is 2,900 grams. From which I understand, the 24-inch Peisty Giant Beat multis really don't stray far from the 2,950 gram range. I really think they could try maybe like at the very least a 3150 or 3250. If I was Peisty at the lab, what I would say is, all right, let's make a 3025 gram 24. You know, 3085, a 3140, a 3180, like gram, 3180, into maybe even up until the 3500 gram range, just to see what they could come up with. Because I think they could offer, I think they should change the name multi on the model to medium thin, okay? Which is something, it's a term Zildjian uses, but Peisty, it's okay. I don't think Peisty's ever put the medium thin, except for way back in the 602 days in probably Istanbul. But they'd call these like a medium thin, or if they want to think of another moniker for it. And then the heavier ones call them mediums, okay? People have accepted that these, a lot of us Peisty, in the total Peisty know, have accepted these are, I think these are the best sounding B8 alloy cymbals made today, the reissue Giant Beats. And remember, they're damn close to the specs of an original Giant Beat. And the only reason why I would really bring up the original Giant Beat shape is it's not something like, hey, you know, Fender switched that little trademark R went from there to there. You know, it's not the same. I don't mean it like that, but the fact of the matter is, on at least the hats and the 18-inch crashes in the 20s, the bell size was big. It was a different bell on the original Giant Beats, bell shape, than you see on the reissues, which, from my experience, is the 2002 shape, which is a more integrated, special shape that they came up for the 2002s. But again, I've said real fast that on the old spec 500 900 Peisty from the 80s, has the same bell as an original Giant Beat, as does definitely the 505s and the 2000s, possibly the 3000s. So if Peisty ever wanted to go down that road, that's fine. Not the end of the world. I mean, to me, because I really think the reissues are terrific. But then if you can offer maybe like, yeah, so the 24s are typically in the 2950 range, which I've gotten from Bob. Peisty Bob, he's looked into this. And two, from everyone I've seen, I've met, like Wade, this one, when did I weigh two of them? Well, Bob brought one over. I think he had the weight on it. But I've also seen in like the My Cymbal ads on YouTube, it'll say, wait, you know, 2980 or 2940. So I see many examples of that. Pretty soon, hopefully, the Peisty unofficial wiki page will come up that has all this data. God love those folks for doing that. But anyway, so then the medium and the 20, because I think this 20 is like 1830. I think these are all 1830, 1850 range. Maybe come up with like a 1980 gram, or even possibly a 20. I would say no heavier than 2,000 grams. And then in the 18, those babies are all in the lower mid 13s, I think. See if you can come up with like a 1450. I seem to remember that Bob and I have talked about that the 14, there's sort of sweet spots in the 18. About a 1450 gram, at least the medium, like this medium, right? This is a medium black label. Actually, this one's 1515 grams, 1515, because this is a reissue. It's a long story on these. I have to look in. These are like a reissue 2002. I think, honestly, it's from before the year 2002 where they did the commemorative. And then they did another John Bonham commemorative with remember a lot of the 2002 reissues actually didn't have the actual ink stamp. This one does. Okay, again, I think this one is a good, probably at least 15 years old now. Anyway, so this one's 1515. So again, with the 18s, if they could maybe just mess around with adding another from 75 to maybe 190 grams to an 18, see what happens. I do have to get this call. This is a real call, I swear. So part 2 is coming up shortly. Thank you.